My name is Dee Ross, also known as Dee Ross to you guys in the community. I'm the founder and CEO of the Ross Foundation, also a candidate for City County Council for District 14 of the Far Eastside. Yeah, I found out a long time ago that I had a unique voice, that I inspire a lot of people, even when I was doing the wrong things. A lot of people still looked up to me and respected my input on a lot of things. I figured out that I had influence, and losing 37 friends to gun violence, family and friends to gun violence, man, I got tired of that cycle. I wanted to break that cycle. I wanted to do something different, you know. I wanted to be that role model I never had. I grew up on 42nd and Post Road, one of the highest poverty level neighborhoods, high crime area, the biggest murder rate zip code wise, and the biggest food desert in the Midwest. So growing up over there, you know, I found out at a young age that I suffer from mental health, trauma, environmental stress. And these are a lot of things I didn't know I suffered from till the age 25. I'm now 28. So imagine if I would have known about these things as a kid, as a young person, I probably would have been directed differently to a lot of things versus getting involved into wrongful activity, running with the wrong crowd. If I would have knew more about myself, my identity, and who I was. Yeah, the Ross Foundation started in 2014. Our mission is to create more effective youth activities, repair our communities, and develop healthy leaders. Basically, we have 3 basic programs. One of them is called the Basic Program, Building Alternative Solutions in the Community. Another one is called A Mother's Cry, a mother support group for mothers who lost a child to gun violence. Also, we have a third one called Our Youth Matters Youth Council, where we teach youth how to change local government, how to speak up about issues in their own backyard. So the Ross Foundation was just a grant recipient of $60,000 from the mayor's office last year of 2018 for a grant to go towards our basic program, Building Alternative Solutions in the Community, where we believe we can de-escalate neighborhood issues before it escalates to involving the police. Because we know when law enforcement is involved, things seems to escalate 9 times out of 10, especially in Black and brown communities. And so when instead of those type of issues, you can eject that with simple conflict resolution, mediation, get into the root problems of why he's carrying a gun, why he's selling drugs, why are they arguing, why are they fighting, versus trying to lock people up over and over again, and then when they get back out of jail or out of prison, they back with the same, well, they probably more damaged with a worse mind condition than when they went in. So we want to get to the root problems. We want to address those things, those barriers and challenges, versus just locking our people up. No, we want to help them so they won't be put in that position again to have to do what they got to do. Yeah, I think it's important to be a positive Black male role model in our community, because it's time for them to see something different. We used to seeing and being highlighted for the negative things in our community. Why can't we be highlighted for the positive things in our community? That's why I try to do things with fashion. I still dress the same. I still dress urban. I don't always wear a suit and tie. I be me. I'm comfortable with being me, you know. So when I do back to school giveaways, toy drives, food drives, peace marches, I'm still me. I'm not out there trying to have a fashion statement or anything like that, but I'm comfortable. I want people in our neighborhood to know that you can be you and still make a difference. You don't have to change who you are to be able to speak your voice, to have a voice in your community, to do something positive in your community. You don't have to change who you are. It's different ways you could get involved. So you can still stay you, but change your morals, your values, your principles, and make sure they are all intact. So you can stay true to who you are. You know, a lot of things that was put in front of us was conditions by systematic oppression. So we never knew. We always thought that we was a failure before we even tried. And I wanted to break that cycle because I seen the generation that was ahead of me, and I seen the generation behind me was all following in this cycle. And I wanted to break that cycle and say, hey, nah, we better than this. There's more than life in the streets. And then this is how we come back and rebuild our community versus just tearing it down. You know, buying property, buying land, putting books in these children's hands in these children's hands, books that they will be able to use and benefit them for the rest of their lives versus just a typical school book that doesn't really apply to everyday life. So I definitely think it's important that we have more role models like myself, and that's why I changed my life and made a 180 with my life, because I want to have a domino effect on the next generation to come. And quite frankly, I've been having a domino effect on that generation and the generation that's older than me. My vision for the city in the next 3 to 5 years is more unity amongst the black community. Us coming together, that we believe together that we can be the change we want to see in our community. We don't have to wait for permission to get things done in our community. We have all the power and capability to transform in our community to what we want to see come about of it. What we envision our children being like in the next 5-10 years. We have all of the power. We don't have to wait for any government agency or law enforcement to come in and make changes, or any organizations that's not grassroots that's coming in to try to implement programs but not having us at the table. I envision us having a voice. I envision us being at the table, and that's why I'm running for City County Council. Yeah, so when I was on the cover of Elite magazine back in like 2013 or 2012, it was that Dee Ross compared to this Dee Ross wasn't fully grown yet. You know, it was still growing, mentally, physically, emotionally. Really didn't know what his purpose was in life. But to see the type of impact I had back then when I was doing music or throwing parties or just a popular face in the black community, I knew that I had a following. I knew that a lot of people listened to me. I knew I had peers who I ran with that I could reach. So I wanted to say, okay, I want to transition to a better lifestyle for all of us. It wasn't just for myself. Of course I had to do it for me, but I did it for my community. I did it for my people, to put in front of them something different that they wasn't used to seeing. To show that, hey, success is a real thing. Change is a real thing. Better in your life is a real thing, because if you let the media control the narrative, let them tell it, we believe that, oh, it's a trap. Ain't no way out of the hood. And so I wanted to be that person to be like, I want to be that hope. I want to restore that hope back into our hood, our neighborhoods, and say, hey, I did it, you can too. Why not you? And and so that's what I've been really echoing, not just in my neighborhood, but throughout the whole city of Indianapolis, because I had influence in a lot of different neighborhoods. And so, back then when I was doing music, it was fun, but it wasn't my purpose. Now, this Dee Ross, I fully walk into this purpose. This is what I feel like I'm called to do. I take advantage of all my experiences and stories, and I use it to reach different aspects of people in life, because I can relate to them in music. I did that. I played basketball. I went to IPS. I used to be in a gang. I used to be in the streets tough. So I know what it's like, what they're going through. So I can relate and identify with them any given time. about any type of scenario or issue they are going through in life, whatever stage they at. I can say, okay, I remember how I was when I was dealing with that situation, and this is how I dealt with it, and this is where the road is going to lead to. So I'm about to try this different route. So I feel way more comfortable, and I'm loving what I'm doing. It's an addiction to my stomach. Seeing the joy on these kids' faces makes me want to go harder and harder. Seeing me finally completing things, finishing projects and initiatives in my community inspires me to keep going. Yeah, my experiences with the Leak magazine, man, I got nothing but positive experiences. I love Ladina. I was just embracing her about how there's only a few people who's gifted to bring people together. And Ladina's one of them. And another guy I brought up was Sir Hart. And they was able to bring people together through music, through entertainment. People who had feuds with each other, beefs with each other, and come together for something positive. Just like the charity basketball game. There's a lot of people out there, including myself, that had differences with different people at one point in time, but we came together for a positive cause, played basketball, laughed, joke, got along. That's what it's about. And the Leak magazine represents unity within the black community, especially in the music world and entertainment world, because we don't have enough platforms doing that, promoting that. And that's why I appreciate the Leak magazine, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to support it and make sure it stays here forever, because this is a component we need in our black community.